Sick. Whoo boy, do we got a fun one today. Check it out. So we got this ENGL preamp, the 530. It's the modern rock version, and man, it is way more than rock, let me tell you. We're going to go through this power station, through the effects return. We'll probably even play with this pedal that I used in my last video that Anthony did. He did the mod on this guy, which turned out really awesome. And I'm going to use my typical noise killer donor. It's like a $20 pedal, like two $20 pedals, but you know, that's modded after he does it less than $100 bucks. We're gonna also play with my Jackson WRX. It's got Fishman influences on it. Sick guitar. I put some new strings on it. The cab here, this is a MD421, this SM57, and there's V30s and triple X's and cross pattern. Let's check it out. Yeah, gotta make sure the mic sounds good. My goatee hits it, that's for sure. Actually, that sounds pretty good right there. But let's mess with it some. Pad that. Turn that down a tad. Okay, let's try the other one. It's always so finicky. All right, let's do some riffs. All right, what is up, everybody? Welcome back to the show. And today we got this ENGL 530 preamp. What a killer amp, dude. Well, that's not an amp, it's a preamp. Actually, it is an amp. So I'll tell you a little bit about this thing. There is a stereo headphone out. It's emulated as well. You have a switch in the back that turns it into like a 1.5 watts little solid state power amp, which you could hook up to a cab. Now, you need a stereo plug. If anybody out there understands what that means, because I'm too afraid to, hook it up to a cab, because apparently you can blow the thing doing this. You can't just hook up just a regular speaker cable or anything. So apparently you need a stereo speaker cable, which is kind of strange to me. And you need to have two cabs hooked up. Just hit in the comments below if you guys, someone out there understands it a little more than I do. I read through it kind of a couple times. I didn't reach out to ENGL, but I should. But that is a cool feature. If I could get that to work, I'd love to hear what the solid state sounds like through the cab. That'd be pretty sick. We're not going to do that today. Today we're just going to go through the tones. We're going to go through the clean, we're going to go through the crunch on the clean, and we're going to do the low gain on the lead and the high gain on the lead. And let me tell you, if there's any preamp that you get, I really think that this is the one to get, because I feel like it covers all ground, and who doesn't love an ENGL, right? It has the flavor. I've got the Fireball, got the Savage up here and all that stuff, and my buddy Mike, he brought over his Powerball It's a version 1. And I even have the ENGL Savage Synergy module. And they all have that same kind of flavor. You get to that nitpick and then they all sound the same, right? Anyways, let's go ahead and check out some tones. We're going to go ahead and start on the clean stuff. Let's turn everything off. Make sure we're at noon. And the bright switch is off. Okay, here is the cleans and on the bridge pickup. Let's do the neck pickup. And I am picking pretty softly here. I need to turn it down just a tad. Yeah, it does still look like it's coming pretty close, but should be fine. But you see how pristine that sounds? Like, I was blown away whenever I first played this. There is 2 preamp tubes in this thing. And I don't know what's being engaged whenever I'm using whatever channel, so it is what it is. But that one channel has all the headroom. I don't think I can get this to distort at all. Let's go ahead and go over to the crunch mode, I guess. So what I would do is I would hit this little gain button here, so low and high. And once I do that, it'll add a little bit of grit to it. So let's go back over to the bridge. See, it's not that much. It's just like a just over edge of breakup kind of thing. And you can control it with the clean gain over here. I mean, that really does sound like the ENGL Savage and its clean crunch mode. It's so cool because, you know, with the Savage, you have the 4 channels, right? Depending on how you switch it up and all that stuff. But this basically does all that. And there is something else that's really cool about this preamp that I really like, that I've not seen on any other of the ENGL amps or anything. So, anyways, let's keep going. And with everything at noon, that sounds pretty good, you know? And I'll just go ahead and say that on the Fryette power station, I did add a little bit of presence. When I say a little bit of presence, it's at 3 o'clock because it's kind of like the 6505 presence where nothing happens until you get to 3 o'clock. So I added a little bit there, and the depth is up to, what was that, 4 o'clock? So it's almost all the way up. Just because this power amp, it doesn't have a lot of girth unless you put it through the reactive load. I would like to figure out a way to mod that to have more low end. That would actually be really cool. But I might be pushing it then. I might be blowing something if I do that. Anyways. Let's go ahead and mess with the EQ here, bring back the mid. Doesn't change too much. It's all the way down. Here's all the way up. Let's go ahead and hit the bright switch. See what that sounds like. Okay, as that little bit top end, now it sounds like more of like a Marshall. I like it, love it. We're gonna add some more bass to it. Let's go ahead and add some more gain to it now. Let's go 3 o'clock with a C, about where it taps out at. Oh, I got a lot thicker there. It's a really pleasant crunch, man. Really dig that. Let's add some more treble. All right, let's go ahead and add the, I'll tell you what, I'll go all the way up with the gain. Show you what that sounds like. That's a really killer crunch. I mean, I believe this thing is MIDI controllable too. Don't mark my words on that, but I would think this one is. And I mean, this is just a killer preamp, you know, that you stick in a rack. It's a single unit. I mean, like, how do they pack all this tone into one little thing like this? Okay, now let's actually go ahead. Let's do the overdrive here. This is Anthony's AMM amplified EKONO drive. So I got it set to level around 1 o'clock. Drive is at 9 o'clock, and I'm gonna put the tone at 12 o'clock. Here's what it sounds like. In this case, I'd probably want to bring the tone back a little bit to about 9 o'clock, just to keep the low end there. It's almost starting to chug now. Pretty cool. Okay, now let's step up a little bit more. Let's go into the second channel. I'm gonna turn it to low gain, and it's on the lead channel now. The gain's halfway. I'm gonna put everything back at halfway here. Cool. And we're good. So, oh, contour. I'm turning contour off for now. A little more volume. See, now the crunch is really getting in there. Just everything at noon, it sounds killer, dude. And now, you know, keep in mind, I am also using Fishman Fluence pickups here. Not my favorite type of pickups. I did change the strings out because they were like 62s at the top. It was like super like thick. It was like bass strings on this thing. But this guitar feels a lot better playing now. Okay, let's turn the contour on. I don't know, I feel like, you know, with some of these ENGL amps, the contour button, you know, if you're playing live, you need to push it. Fireball, Savage, Powerball, You know, I've never tried an artist. I know everybody's been telling me that I need to try that because it sits more in the higher mid range and stuff, and it has more low mids and all. But the contour button is definitely needed for if you want to cut through the mix. And not to say that when you leave it out, it's bad sounding. So let's go back. I like that. Contour on. That's definitely Marshall territory right there. Okay, let's mess with the EQ a little bit here. Okay, this is the thing I wanted to tell you guys that I think was really cool about this thing, is that this has a low mid and a high mid pot here. So with those two, you can have like so many tonal options with this thing. And it's probably the reason why I really love this preamp is because it has the low and high mid switches, and it has that contour. It's just, you can turn this amp into pretty much any kind of sound you really want it to be. Now it will have that smooth distortion that ENGL is known for. It's not very fireballish, it's very much more savage sounding. But that's good too. I mean, what's this thing like $500 used on the used market right now? I mean, if you want ENGL, just go this route. Don't even mess with the synergy stuff or anything. This preamp, stick it through another tube amp in the effects loop, and it is killer. So I want to show you what these mids pots do here. So low mid all the way down. It almost sounds like Mesa territory. Okay, and all the way up. You see how much more present that is? Not presence, but present. I love that sound. That's killer. So let's go back, put that halfway, and let's mess with the high mids. So we bring that all the way back. That's what a blanket over an amp sounds like. All right, let's go all the way up. So this almost acts like the treble. I would actually use the treble as a presence and the high mid as a treble. So let me show you what I'm talking about. Let's go back with that, and let's bring the treble down, right? Bring treble up a little bit. See, okay, so the high mids are at 3 o'clock and the treble's around 11 o'clock or so. That sounds killer. So let's go ahead and add some gain to it. 3 o'clock. It's probably a little too trebly, so I'm going to bring the high mids down. Love ENGLs because they just have this like this crunch about it. It's like, it's so pleasant. So if I mess with the low mid and bring that back a little bit, it sounds like a totally different amp to me now. Let's go ahead and put the overdrive on. See what that sounds like. So it sounds a little high end to me. So what I would do is probably bring the high mid down. Bring the treble up a little bit. It's very fine. Sounds pretty killer, right? Let's go ahead and bring up the bass because we cut the bass with the pedal. There it is. Okay, enough of that channel. Let's go ahead and go full gain, high gain, ass whooping metal. All right, turn off the pedal. And you can hear it. So we're gonna go back to halfway with this. And I like the settings that we had it on for the EQ. So this is what that sounds like now. Whoa. Let's bring the bass down just a tad because it's about to clip. Yeah, dude, that's it. Remember, I turned the pedal off. Now, obviously, we're hearing a little bit of noise coming out of here. It makes sense because we're engaging both of the preamp too. And anytime I play an ENGL, it totally reminds me of Dimmable Gear or Old Man's Child, which is anyone out there excited that Old Man's Child is starting to ramp up again? He's finally coming to the United States, and that dude is my favorite songwriter of all time. Definitely gonna see if I can make that happen. Let's go ahead and bring up the gain a little bit more. Check it out. Jeez. That is so sick. That's the sound that we all are looking for, right there. That. Now, I'd like to see if I can figure out a way to put a noise gate in between. I mean, I could totally just do that with the noise gate, well, from the line out into the power station. But I really like the features when they have the noise gates on the actual amps. And those work really well. I think it's in the effects loop basically is where it sits. But we'll go ahead and engage this. Oh, bring down the gain just a little bit. Oh, there it is again. Just saying. Anyways, that is it. I just wanted to go through this preamp and show you guys what it sounded like through the Fryette power station and going through each of the channels so you guys can get an idea of this thing. If you come across this thing, don't pass this up. Even if you got, as long as you have a power amp or something, even if it's a solid state, it's fine, whatever. This thing will cut. DMD out.